Hello, and thanks for watching my video on servant leadership. I just wanted to say hey and let y'all see my face for a quick second before we get started so you could put a face with the voice. I might pop in and out depending on if I start talking with my hands a lot or if I just think that y'all need to see my facial expressions to understand what we're talking about. But for now, I'm going to take myself off the screen and just talk to y'all a little bit about something I'm very passionate about, and that is servant leadership. So here we go. All right, so servant leadership to me is the grown-up version of something that a lot of us were taught when we were very small, and that is the golden rule. Every child that I ever knew growing up learned this rule. And that is, for those of you who don't know, which hopefully all your moms and dads taught you the rule, that it is to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Not do what they did to you to them, but to treat them the way that you would like to be treated. So if this works so well when we're kids, why would it not work the same for adults? Why would we not, as adults, realize that this is going to solve a lot of problems and keep problems from happening? So we're going to be being proactive about it, which makes us intelligent. We're supposed to grow more intelligent the older we get. So I just can't help but wonder what would happen if we abided by this golden rule as leaders. And so that brings us into talking about servant leadership, because the golden rule, we talk about putting others above ourselves, basically putting their needs and what they want before what we do, because we're doing what we wish someone would do for us to them. Okay, so defined easily, servant leadership is others before self. Others before self is something that I suppose is easier in theory than it is in real life, because we don't have a lot of people that are servant leaders. I'm going to give you a little bit more of a complicated definition, if you will, a little more complex definition of servant leadership. So a servant leader is a person who is more concerned about others than themselves. They are humble, and their humility stimulates strong relationships with followers and encourages followers to become fully engaged in their work. So that is a little bit more of a complicated way of saying that they're going to put others first. And so that was just a definition that I got out of an article that I'm using for a lit review that I'm doing on some servant leadership for another of my classes that I thought y'all could benefit from. And then in our book, Northouse, even written by Northouse, he even talks about that servant leadership starts with the innate wanting to serve others, which made me really contemplate the fact of, do you have to be born with this in you? And that's something that I would like y'all to ponder also. Do you have to be born wanting to serve to be able to be a servant leader, or is that something that you can learn to want to do, if you will? And then the other thing is that person wants to be a leader. So very simply, they want to serve and they're trying to be a leader. And the servant leader, once again, I can't stress it enough, the easiest way to explain it is that they put others and their needs before their own needs. Benefits. Okay, there are so many benefits of servant leadership. Just to name a few, the growth and performance aspect of it is really the thing that has caught my eye. That's one of the main outcomes that we want to see as a servant leader, and that's one of the things that the book really talked about as well. And to me, that really stuck out because I work in the athletic fields, and so that is supposed to be my job as a coach is to help my followers grow and succeed. We want to win. But how are we going to win? By helping the people on our team grow and reach their full potential. I've been doing a lot of research on servant leadership, and one of the other articles that I read was talking about how having this servant leadership built into the culture helps to build trust, not only between people on the same level, but it helps to build trust between the employee and the employer, or the coach and the player. And it also helps to build strong relationships, because if we're being servant leaders, we're trying to get to know what every single one of our followers needs. So to do that, we're going to have to be able to build a relationship with them and get to know them and figure out what makes them tick and what drives them and what ways we can help them be the most successful. So also, it has these major benefits for society as a whole, because we're teaching, in my case, and I think in a lot of other people's cases, I think about teachers. If we're teaching young children to be servant leaders, think about the positive impact that's going to have on society as a whole. Instead of being such a greedy people, we're not going to be thinking me, me, me. We're going to be thinking about, how can I serve you? How can I help you be successful? And that brings us to success, which is one of the things that we just talked about, helping people grow and succeed. And also, organizational success is one of the outcomes that you expect as a servant leader, and that's something that the book talks about as well. And in other research that I've been doing, it just genuinely produces a happy atmosphere to work in. When people feel that they're being served, it makes it so much easier to want to serve others and to put others in front of themselves. And so this is a trickle-down effect in the best possible way, and it makes everybody feel much more relaxed and just happier, and it's a very positive environment to be in. And that's something else that it creates, is a positive environment. Along with this, creates a atmosphere for ethical behavior, which is something that in all aspects of our society is beginning to be something that we struggle with. And so if we can start to build this from a top-down approach, teaching leaders to be ethical, then we're going to hopefully have that flow throughout our departments and through our teams and through our organizations. And hopefully we're going to create a more ethical world for everybody to live in. And it's going to make the world safer and a better place. Not to be too positive and happy-go-lucky about it, but truly I believe that this is all potential benefits that servant leadership has. Okay, action. This is how we can put servant leadership into play, and that is what I want us to be able to do after we go through this. I want you all to see the benefits, and I hope it hits home like it did for me. So basically, all you have to do to put this into action is think about what's best for the person you're leading, and not what's going to help me the most, what gives me an edge up. Think about, how can I help this person that I'm leading succeed? What can make them be successful? Because if the people below you are being successful, is that not inevitably going to bring you success? I know that's not the point of servant leadership, but I can't help but think about, if we are helping, I'm going to use my example. If I am helping the girls on my team be successful, then they're going to be performing well on the court or performing well in the classroom, whichever it may be. And when they're doing that, they're going to get success, which in the end is going to give me success as their coach. Okay, next, apply the golden rule to your life. That is such an easy way to put servant leadership into play. And that's something that we learned when we were itty bitty, and if we can do that in kindergarten, if we can share our crayons, then we can hold the door for somebody. Or we can clean up the mess that somebody else made. We can go a step above and beyond to help our organization be more successful. Next part of this that I think you can put into action is to try and motivate those around you. In the video that you're going to watch in the TED Talk, it talks about being motivational and trying to help those around you get into action. And so that's something that you can do. And I think that's something that's fun when you can motivate somebody and get them excited and help them to find their passion in what you're doing, then there's joy in that. And I think that if you start to do this, you really will see it. The last part, as silly as it sounds, you have to actually and physically be willing to serve other people. If you're not willing to serve, then you're not going to be able to be a servant leader. So I just want to leave you with a few more points of taking this servant leadership into action, is to pay attention to the good things. So servant leaders don't focus on the negatives. They focus on the positives. So that's something that we can do so easily. And I promise you, I'm not always a positive person, but when I focus on the positive things, I feel myself being so much more joyful, and life is just so much easier. Yeah, you're going to hit bumps in the road, but we don't focus on those bumps. We focus on the good things. The next thing that you can do to put this into action is just show up. That's half the battle in 95% of things in life, like going to the gym, for example. Just show up. Just get yourself out of bed and go. So that's something that you can do easily for servant leadership, is just show up. If it's a meeting that you really don't want to go to, just show up. If your girls or your team has extra workouts and you don't have to be there, there's a strength and conditioning coach, just show up. It means more to you than you'll ever know. And then last, we need to embrace the motto of let's push together. If we decide that it is a we trying to accomplish a goal instead of a them or a they or a my employees or my team, if it's we're going to do this, we can accomplish this, let's do this together, then you're going to really be embracing that servant leadership, and that's going to motivate your program or your organization or your team. And you're going to find them being inspired, and it's just going to lead you more than likely to more success than you really would have been able to do if you took the y'all do this approach instead of a let's do this approach. So those are the ways that you can put servant leadership into action. Okay, so here's my challenge to y'all. I want you to just try it. For the rest of this week, just try to do the things that we talked about from servant leadership. And I'm going to leave y'all with a few more points that you can do to try and embrace with your servant leadership. And that's the characteristics that we learn about. So I want you to listen. Instead of just being the one to talk, I want you to listen to people when they have problems. Show empathy to people when they do have problems. Make them see that you understand. Also, I want y'all to be stewards. I want you to take responsibility for the leadership role that you've been entrusted with. And then also, I want you to just really be committed to the people that you're trying to help lead. I want you to be committed to their growth. And also, try and build this community in your organization. Start it there, and then if it works, it's going to trickle over out into your whole community. And so those are the few. I didn't even give you the whole list of characteristics that are in servant leadership. I just gave you a few, but I want you to try and use just a few of those. Or better yet, as Nike put it, just do it, guys. Just do it. Be a servant leader. Thanks for watching my video, guys. That was really fun for me to make, and you can probably tell in my voice that I'm really passionate about this. It's something that really strikes close to home, and I think I'm just going to share a little bit more with y'all. I think one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about this is in my faith, I'm supposed to be willing to serve and to be Christ-like, and that's what he did. He was serving to others, and so that's just another reason why this is close to my heart. But I really challenge y'all to just do it. Try this just for a week and just see how you feel, see how it goes, see how it affects the culture within your organization. And I would love for y'all to reach out and let me know how it goes. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out. Thanks for watching my video, guys. Bye.